So, I've made a list, and it's a really gloriously helpful list indeed. In my almost 2 decades of experience as a graphic designer, I've come to realize that having a successful design career boils down to these categories being fulfilled and also mastered. And I'm going to show you what I use to make each of these categories highly useful and how they work for me in my design career. So firstly, without a good design process, you probably won't make good designs, right? The first tool I used was eDrawMind, which is an insanely useful mind mapping tool. Now this especially helps me out when I'm actually working on logo design concepts and I'm trying to generate concepts via keywords. It's actually a free download initially, and I do think it's really useful to utilize as a graphic designer. And then the second one is Milanote. So I use this thing to design projects and mood boards, to actually working on content right here on YouTube, and even to things like my nutrition and my day-to-day activities. If Milanote were to disappear tomorrow, I'd literally feel naked as a designer. Then the third tool that helps me in my design process as a whole is ChatGPT. Now, the main way I use this in my process is to research things like target markets of specific industries, or maybe to gain insight into different ideas and expand on existing ones that I already have. For things like this, ChatGPT is just a really good foundation and a good starting point, and it also saves a boatload of time. Okay, so the next sector we have to have down to a T as designers is the financial game. Boring, I know, but hey, it's really important. So I often use Docusign when I need to shoot over a contract to a design client, but also for other things that people might hire me for in my work business. It's a great and inexpensive way to get a digital signature securely, but also fast. And when it comes to keeping track of money in and also money out, alongside taxes, there are accountant softwares out there, but for me personally, I just hire an accountant for bookkeeping and my annual tax returns. I think actually having a certified accountant just gives that extra layer of peace of mind. Again, super boring, but also at the same time, it's super important. The tax man, they always win. If you try and mug them off, they will get you. If it's not this year, next year, or in 10 years' time, they'll probably get you. I also use Google Sheets and other spreadsheets to track my money coming in and my money going out. And then I just dump all of that information on my accountant to work through. And I don't envy him in the slightest, that's for sure. So next, it is the client pitch. It's often said that a bad design can be sold in a pitch, and a great design can be rejected in a pitch. So basically, yeah, we have to get this thing right. Ironically enough, I sometimes use a tool called Pitch. Yeah, go figure. This thing offers templates and a great service to construct your pitches so you can get that resounding yes that we all yearn for as a graphic designer. Now aside from that, I simply use Adobe Photoshop to make my own storytelling pitches, and I download a bunch of mockups from Envato Elements. In fact, I download a lot of things from Envato on a daily basis, and I find it great for video production and also my design projects too. Nothing in today's video has sponsored today's video, and that is apart from the next tool we're going to look at, which has been touted at making die lines and mockup generation to the next level in 2023, and that is Pacdora. I mean, just get a load of this thing right here. It gives you real-time 3D mockups that you can generate yourself pretty easily and in double quick time. The 3D real-time preview is a great tool to use for pitching designs to a client, because they can actually visualize your design in the real world in a 3D space. Mockups can be easily generated with just one click, and the mockups on Pacdora are actually really high quality as well. There's a huge library to choose from when thinking about mockups with a ton of subject categories. Next to fonts, my second biggest addiction as a designer is actually downloading and keeping mockups. So yeah, Pacdora plays right into my deepest, darkest desires when it comes to designer addiction. Pacdora also has industry standard precision with their die lines, and they're automatically created based on your dimensions that you enter. Now this is awesome for projects that might require large scale printing and manufacturing, and Pacdora is already inexpensive. But because they're sponsoring today's video, my Satori viewers, you guys can grab a 50% discount using the code Satori50 in uppercase lettering. It's probably worth it just for the mockups alone, but the fact there are also templates and die lines, a 3D design generator, and printing connections too, Well, it just seems like a no-brainer for people who are serious about their craft and a career in this niche. So yeah, check out Pacdora linked down below and use that discount code Satori50 at the checkout. So a huge part of being a designer and actually growing as a designer is future planning. Now for that, I again simply use Milanote. I create to-do lists, I set myself realistic goals to hit, and I leave myself notes here, there, and everywhere just to keep myself moving in the right direction. Simply put, if you don't set yourself goals as a designer, then you're not going to push yourself as hard as you probably should be in this career, and you won't have a firm, strong direction to head in. And in my long time doing this, I've learned just how powerful goal setting is and how important it is. So yeah, for that I simply just use Milanote. Keeping up to date with how the design industry is evolving and being a part of the community is a big thing. I like to check up on Specky Boy's blog from time to time because the news section is interesting and there often are freebies to be had on this blog. Yeah, granted, it's more inclined towards UX and UI design, but I still find it useful as a general designer. Then there's Muesli, which is a hotbed for news and all things creative. I do like to dip my toes in there once in a while. So back in the day, I actually used to buy the creative review magazines when I was in college, and today I just use their website quite often. I find it to be almost like my second design home from home. And then something I've spoken about before, HTTP Stare. And wow, they've actually added a cool update of a chronological meter on the side when you scroll down. That's pretty cool. But anyway, this site is an awesome place for inspiration and just to see how people are pushing the envelope and what's actually possible with website design these days. But yeah, let me know what tools you're using in your design career, and also if you want to grab some more freebies, then just click that video on screen. And until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.